In a previous episode on the Kingdom Revolution podcast, I talked about the trust recession and how we as kingdom women in online business can actually reframe and look through the trust recession, as the world would call it, through a kingdom lens. After this episode, I would definitely go back and listen to episode 146 and reframing the trust recession, because I don't think that it's the end of the story. I think it's actually a moment in time where we have an invitation to reimagine, redefine, and reset our approach as kingdom women in the marketplace. This isn't the end of the online business industry. This isn't the end of the trust in the industry. It's a call to build a new beginning, and one that's grounded in truth, real transformation, and lasting impact. Now, in that episode, I talked about and gave you some ways where you could, as a kingdom-minded woman in online business, what you could do to increase that know, like, and trust factor in this environment we're living in. Because your ideal client is smart, is a critical thinker. And there are things that are going around us that lead us to questioning what's taking place. And I don't need to get into that. You can go back and listen to that episode. But the number one strategy that I shared in that episode for you to really get that know, like, and trust factor accelerated when you come across those who know that you have a solution to the problem that they're looking for is to share your authentic story and just be open and vulnerable. People want to know your values and make sure they want to work with you. So strategy number one is to share your authentic story, because your story is your superpower, which leads us into today's episode. And really what I want to talk about is how the smart lead gen method that I created back in 2022 is the foundations of sharing your story and getting your message heard, built with or on top of the foundations of collaborations and using strategic partnerships in order to do that. Because collaborations and building and leveraging kingdom relationships so that you can add value to other people's audiences is the fastest way to grow your email list and grow your business. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the mistakes that I see some people making when they start to use collaborations as a strategy to build their online business and their email list. So if you're just listening to this episode and you're not familiar with what collaborations are or even the benefits of collaborations, go back and listen to the previous 2 or 3 episodes in this podcast, and you will learn what I'm talking about when I'm referring to collaborations and why I believe that they are the most effective way to grow your email list without being a slave to social media. Welcome to the Kingdom Revolution podcast, the online podcast for mamas against the mainstream agenda. We are redefining faith in online business to empower you, the Christian mama, to find and strengthen your roar, to clarify your calling so that you can create, grow, and launch a profitable, impactful, and scalable business by God's design without being a slave to social media and without sacrificing your faith and values. You know that you've been called to business and you want to do it God's way, not the world's way. A business that is based off the blueprint He put inside of you. A business by God's design, one that incorporates your testimony and inner fire to make a difference in this world. Like me, you don't mind going down a few rabbit holes, but you don't have to go down one to see that there is a war on future generations, a war on families, and a war against you, that kingdom warrior mama called to business, a war to silence your voice and movement. I believe your online business is your battlefield. It's how you get to show up and use that voice to create kingdom wealth and take back what the enemy has stolen. You have that inner fire to change your family's legacy, to take your passions, knowledge, life experiences, or even that hobby that you love and create an online business, bringing a heavenly solution down to an earthly problem. Maybe you have too many ideas. You're not even quite sure where to start. Or maybe you've been struggling for a few months, even years, duct taping it all together with worldly tactics and strategies that are just leaving you confused, overwhelmed, and questioning your calling. If that's you, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm your host, Kristen Duranci. I'm a wife, mama, ex-9-to-5er, and daughter of the King. I am a mama against the mainstream agenda who is using her voice and her online business to fight against the evils going on in today's world. I believe God is calling women back into position to a kingdom revolution, to the battlefield, to find and strengthen their voice, to stand firm for biblical truth, to be the change they want to see in this world. My mission battlefield? Restoring the family unit the way God intended, to bring mamas home so that they can be the one raising their warriors for the kingdom while making impact and income. So join me each week as I dive into honest conversations about my journey, tactical tips, spiritual and mindset strategies, along with the step-by-step plan to empower you to take that step of faith, to partner with God, to create, build, and launch an online business by His design without being a slave to social media. So if you're ready to say yes to all of this, you're not afraid to rock that status quo and be part of a kingdom revolution, then armor up with Ephesians 6 and put on the full armor of God, because you are a warrior for the kingdom, and He is going to use you and your online business to do some pretty amazing things here on this side of heaven. Hey, welcome back to the Kingdom Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Duranci. Thank you for being with me again today. I am very grateful and thankful for you. Before we get into today's conversation, I want to make sure that you have heard that I will be hosting your next 1,000 Leads Challenge, how to grow your email list without social media so that you can have a profitable, impactful, and successful business by God's design without being a slave to social media or paid ads. So that information and that link to get inside the next 1,000 lead challenge, your next 1,000 leads challenge, is in the show notes. I will be taking you through the steps that you need to take in order to, 1, stop being a slave to social media, how to leverage the power of collaborations, and so much more. Also, if you are new to collaborations and you want to grab the Kingdom Collaboration Toolkit for Christian women in online business, this is a beginner's collaboration toolkit for you so you can learn about collaborations. You can learn the 6 steps that you need to take in order to have strategic and successful collaborations. You can also grab that in the show notes as well. And before we get into the mistakes I see people making when they start to use the strategy of collaborations and a few things that you need to have in place before you can have a successful collaboration is, you might be wondering, what is a collaboration? Well, definitely go back and listen to the past couple episodes, but a collaboration really is a joint venture you do with another person or a group of people who are in a complementary niche and have the same target audience as you. The main goal that the world sees is to grow our email list fast and to get high quality leads. I like to look at it through a kingdom lens and say it is a way for you to add value to serve other people's audiences while building your email list and theirs as well, quite fast with high quality leads. So benefits of collaborations real quick is it does empower you to grow your email list fast. And it allows you to capitalize on a powerful thing that business loves is momentum. And I teach you how to do that in my Smart Lead Gen method and the strategies that I use to help my clients as well have a successful and profitable launch post collaboration event. And we'll be going into those strategies in your next 1000 leads challenge as well. So make sure you save your seat and join us there. Another benefit is it allows you to reach new audiences that you might not have been able to reach on your own. And let's face it, they're fun. It's fun to build relationships because we're not meant to do this business thing on our own, right? Just like we're not supposed to do life on our own. When we come together with other believers or other people in the online business space, a rising tide lifts all the boats, right? Yes and amen. So a few mistakes that I see people making when they try to do collaborations on their own, or they just kind of look and see what I'm doing, and then they try to piecemeal it all together, there's a few mistakes that are made. And I love that people do that because they're taking action. You're doing the thing, which is so important. I love action takers. And I am one of those action takers as well. But what I want you to consider is that when we do that, and we don't actually learn from someone who's done the thing, just like growing your business, starting the business, right? We try to do it on our own a lot of the times, but we're only seeing, the iceberg effect, the tip of the iceberg. We're only seeing and piecing together the things that we can see on the tip of the iceberg. We're not understanding and we don't see what's under the water and what has to take place in order to have a successful, profitable, impactful business by God's design, or a successful, impactful, and strategic collaboration. So mistake number one is they don't consider the audience of the people they're collaborating with. The audience must be aligned and full of your ideal clients, or it's just going to be a waste of time and you're not going to get conversions or the signups you're after. Now, we could talk about this and go deeper into what this means, but that's what I do with my clients inside the private containers of my bundles with impact, the visibility for impact accelerator, which has most of my collaboration strategies in that I teach, or my summits with impact program. But the audience needs to be aligned and full of your potential ideal clients. And aligned means with your core values and so much more. Mistake number two is there's a lack of follow-up and not nurturing those connections. Not nurturing the connections, your speakers, your collaborators, other relationships, plus the new leads that have just gotten on your email list is a mistake that I have seen. So you need to make sure that you're nurturing them and nurturing them properly, because you can have missed opportunities for future collaborations with your speakers, your collaboration partners, those that you do freebie swaps with, and not nurturing the new leads that were just added to your email list can mean for higher unsubscribes. And nurturing just doesn't mean sending them email after email. It means that you need to know where you're taking them, also known as your offer. What are you going to be offering them? There needs to be a clear customer journey from when someone gets on your email list as a potential ideal client all the way to your offer. Your messaging needs to be congruent. That lead magnet that they opted into needs to be congruent, and so much more. Mistake number three is that your collaboration isn't aligned with who you are, meaning your values, your beliefs, your business values. That kind of ties into mistake number one, but they are separate, because people often say yes to collaborations because the other party appears to have a large audience without considering how it feels, what it's going to do to the audience already on their email list. So remember, there always should be an alignment with you and your business. Otherwise, it can have a negative effect and seep into your audience that's already there. Now, what do I mean by that? When I first started, I was involved with a lot of collaborations. I would participate in summits and bundles where my ideal client might be showing up because I knew I could add value, but it wasn't necessarily always aligned with my values or beliefs, meaning it was a bundle or a summit put on by someone in the secular world, or they might have been a believer, I don't know, but they brought in every point of views for certain things. So example would be like a summit with lead generation, a summit what was one? The lucrative lead generation summit. That was one of them, where I came in and I spoke about collaboration strategies that I was using in order to grow your email list fast. And they would have other people that would come in and talk about how they were doing it, right? Well, some other people might not have the same values I do. They might be transgender, or they might be doing it using new age techniques or something like that. I'm kind of going back off from memory. However, when I would email it out to my email list and say, hey, I'm involved in this event, go check it out. You're going to find value, which is a way of nurturing your email list. It really is. However, I also want to protect my people, my Christian women in online business who don't want to be influenced by the world's way of doing things, that don't want to be influenced by someone that might identify as a cat, right? I might be kind of going way out there talking about that, but I'm trying to make you see that you need to make sure that the people that you're collaborating with are along the same lines as your values, your beliefs, and business values. And this is a tricky one right here because we want to show up and be salt and light, right? So I personally think that I want to be putting myself into those events sometimes because I speak Jesus, I speak the love of Christ, and I'm bold about my faith. And if my ideal client is in there listening because she wants that next tip or that strategy, my conversation, my movement, and what my message is going to perk her ears and be like, oh, thank you, finally. And then I can always be a blessing to other people, right? And I can plant that seed in their heart of, oh my goodness, she's so bold about her faith. And yeah, my mom used to talk about Jesus, and maybe I should, start coming back to the Lord, or it just plants that seed so Holy Spirit can do some work. But the point that I'm trying to get to is if you don't make sure that your collab is in alignment to protect your audience, or even put a disclaimer in your email when you send it out, like I've done in the past, then you may be doing things that actually deteriorate your email list and audience. Don't let that stop you from hosting a collaboration or participating in one, because there are certain things that you can do and certain things that I teach that will not do what I said, deteriorate your email list. And that's one of the reasons why I am so passionate about teaching this strategy to my clients inside the Business by God's Design Academy, but also teaching the strategy to Christian women who are past building and launching a profitable and successful business. Now you are ready to scale. You have a proven offer. You have launched your beta founding member program, and you're looking for a strategic lead generation strategy that is fun, that's going to continue to work year after year, month after month inside your marketing cycle, because we have to have lead generations continually bringing in new leads, our potential ideal clients that we can serve and nurture and then lead to our offer. And the last thing before we hop off today are some steps that you get to take to have strategic, successful collaborations. As step 1, develop a kingdom mindset. That's the first step. Mindset is everything, 90 to 99% of everything. We can have the right business strategy, but if our mindset isn't alignment to kingdom principles and strategies, it's going to be a struggle. So developing the kingdom mindset is understanding that there's no competition in the kingdom. We get to champion greatness, so it multiplies. God is calling you, and faith-filled Christian women entrepreneurs together to be the body to work in unity and collaboration. And even though I think it's important that the collaborations you are involved in or you host, the partners are complementary to what you do, it's okay if they are doing somewhat of the same thing because you have your own unique differentiator, that unique selling position that makes what you do different from somebody else. You need to know the values and mission of your online business. That is extremely important. It's your North Star. It's how you're going to make decisions on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's how you're going to attract like-minded collaborators. It's how you are going to rally the people that you are called to serve as well behind that greater movement of what God is calling you to do in this world. And collaborators are more likely to engage with a business that have a clear purpose and value and know where you're going and where you're taking people. It also provides a framework for collaborations and ensuring that these collective efforts align with a shared mission, like advancing God's kingdom. The next thing that you need to have clarity on or know or understand before you participate or host your own is you need to know who you serve, also known as your ideal client. This is quite essential because you don't want to go through the effort of putting together a collaboration event or participating in one if you don't know who your ideal client is. You're just going to end up getting a whole bunch of people on your email list that either don't want what you have to offer or people that you don't want to have on your email list. And then that leads to the next step is you need to have clarity on how you help them. So what is that one problem that you are solving for your ideal client? What is that transformation that you're getting them? And then have a clear idea on what I like to call is that B to Y framework. A, your client's in pain, your ideal client's in pain. They're looking for a solution to their problem. And Z, they've gone through your course, your program, their product, or your service, and they've gotten that transformation. You, my friend, are the B to Y. So you need to have an idea of what that is. Now, do you need to have already made income in your online business to participate or host in a collaboration? No, you don't. Because I wholeheartedly believe that strategic collaborations, whether you're participating in them or hosting them, is the best way to grow your email list fast so that you can launch your beta founding member program or find leads between launch to launch so you're not hustling and you're not being a slave to social media. And why do I believe that? Because that's the exact same thing that I did, which is what developed my smart lead gen method and what I teach my clients inside the Business by God's Design Academy. The next thing that you need to have in place is a strategic collaboration lead magnet. Now, this goes so much greater in depth than just that simple lead magnet that you have sitting out in your bio or a call to action that you might have out in a post. I grab my PDF checklist for XYZ. You want to have a powerful strategic collaboration lead magnet that is going to provide so much more value. And that is an episode in and of itself and really a mini training that I teach inside what I teach with collaborations. And then once you have those all into place, you get to look for strategic collaboration events to participate in. And you can find those in specific Facebook groups. You can hop into my speaking and collaboration for Christian women entrepreneurs and online coaches Facebook community, which is a community for collaborations. And my favorite is hosting your own because that is, I believe, the biggest bang for the buck. You are in charge of when the collaboration event gets hosted and when the leads start to come in on your email list so that you can plan your launch post-collaboration event. All right, now let's bring it all back home. I started with that trust recession. Collaborations is the fastest way to grow your email list. It's also the fastest way to increase that know, like, and trust factor and build your authority in the online space, whether you are brand new or not. Go back and listen to the previous episode because I go into the benefits of collaborations, but also I just got off hosting the Renewed Vision Summit. Once that was done, I merged into adding value and nurturing those new leads that were on my email list. And this time I did that in a way of showing up and doing some complimentary coaching sessions. These coaching sessions, the women got breakthrough, they got clarity, and they were so thankful. I was on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just providing value and going through, answering their question and giving them feedback. I had so many of them reach out, say thank you. A few posted in the Facebook communities, like, thank you so much. I now have strategic implementation steps that I can now take. And I had one amazing woman join the Online Business by God's Design Academy. That's my 12-month group coaching program. Now, you may think, well, you only had one join. Yes, that was on a smaller scale. I only did 2 complimentary coaching sessions where I really could only have 10, 11 people in those sessions each because I didn't want to be on there forever, right? Our time's valuable, but we only have so many minutes in the day. So yeah, there's now a waiting list for more of these complimentary coaching sessions, which is something I will probably start to implement in my nurturing cycle on a monthly basis. So that was approximately 11 or 12 that I nurtured and added significant value to. And one of them saw value and was ready to join the program and take that next step. I would say that percentage of conversion is highly significant and something that shows you right then and there that the Smart Lead Gen method and strategy that I teach works. Now that's on a smaller scale, a smaller level. But now I have these amazing women who joined my email list after the Renewed Vision Summit who saw me add value. And I just announced that your next 1,000 leads challenge. I've already had people email me when I started to plant that seed and raise their hand and say, hey, I want to be a part of this. When is it? So the powerful thing of collaborations is that it increases that know, like, and trust factor fast through authority osmosis. And then when you implement my Smart Lead Gen method from the collaboration event that you just hosted or participated in, you are going to start to see momentum build in your online business that you can capitalize on to serve those people, serve them well, and bring them to your paid program or offer. All right, I pray that this blessed you today. Have an amazing day. Share it with a business bestie, and I will see you on our next episode of the Kingdom Revolution podcast.
That's it for today, friends. Real quick before you go, if this podcast has blessed you in some way, the number one way that you can thank me is to leave a written review over on Apple Podcasts. The second thing you can do is take a screenshot of this episode or that review and tag me over on social media in your stories at Kristen Duranci. And then I will share you in my stories and give you a shout out. This not only blesses me, but you are creating a ripple effect by getting this message into the hands of others that might need to hear it. And know that there's only one you. Someone is out there waiting to hear from you. They're waiting for your message, your story, and your solution to their problem. You are the expert they're waiting to hear from. I want you to know this, feel this, and most importantly, be this. Never underestimate the impact and power that you have been given through the Holy Spirit. Be blessed, friend, and I'll see you on the next episode.